I'm Isis Romero, and this is the news in San Antonio. A disturbing case of child abuse and pornography that centers around a former San Antonio police officer. Albert Sanchez Jr. was arrested on charges of sexually abusing 2 children. Last year, he was also arrested on 24 counts of child pornography. Rania Kaur explains his new charges.
In court documents, we've learned in this latest charge, Sanchez Jr. is accused of sexually abusing 2 young girls, one 6 years old and one 13 years old. The reported abuse started, however, years ago and continued on for years. The abuse reportedly happened when both the victims were much younger. Sanchez Jr. is accused of performing sexual acts on these children at least twice. And the 13-year-old told police she actually witnessed Sanchez sexual assaulting a girl who was just 1 or 2 years old at the time. In a previous investigation, detectives found Sanchez had child pornography, which included the 2 young girls. Sanchez was arrested in January 2024 for 24 child pornography charges. He spent 16 years as a San Antonio police officer. He was also involved in an officer-involved shooting that happened on Colima Street in October 2023. Sanchez faces charges of continued sexual abuse of a child, as well as super aggravated sexual assault of a child. He has since bonded out of jail. Rania Kaur, KENS 5.
San Antonio police are investigating after a man was shot twice during an argument. Neighbors say they heard 2 people yelling, then several gunshots on Wednesday. The victim ran from the scene before collapsing. He was taken to the hospital in critical condition. The search continues for the gunman. San Antonio police and Crime Stoppers are looking for a suspect in a murder at an apartment complex right after the 4th of July. They just released these pictures. The shooting happened on July 5th, just after 4 a.m. at the Oakstone Apartments on Northeast Loop 410. A witness said she and the victim, 38-year-old Israel Uriegas, were sitting in his car when 4 people walked up and demanded his vehicle. One of the suspects shot Uriegas several times. Then all 4 took off in a stolen black Kia Soul. Crime Stoppers may pay up to $5,000 for information leading to an arrest. It's an investigation that has so many twists, even police are baffled. It all unfolded on Thursday when officers got a call about a man or teen waving a gun around on the northwest side. When officers got there, they found a wrecked vehicle with government plates that had been stolen. Neighbors say the 2 men in the stolen car bailed out and ran into a house, the same house where police say the suspect with the gun also ran into. Police were able to arrest all 3 suspects and say one of them may be tied to a murder investigation. The San Antonio City Council has approved a $4 billion budget for next year. It addresses everything from public safety to capital projects to pay increases. Zach Briggs has more.
Public safety is our highest priority. All the other things that we want to do not matter if our citizens do not feel safe.
Public safety makes up over 60% of the nearly $1.7 billion arm of the general fund budget. District 10 council member Mark White vouched for more police officers to be included in the final package. Among the many city amendments, one called for adding 15 new police officers for patrol duty, which bumps up the total number of patrol officers in the budget from 25 to 40.
I believe that backtracking on the promise of 65 officers to our community, backtracking on that promise is nothing short of government malpractice.
City Manager Eric Walsh says there are still opportunities to hire an additional 28 patrol officers.
We do have an outstanding grant request to the federal government that we won't hear back until probably early November. That could be a potential. We've gotten police officers through that grant 2 years in a row.
No property tax increases for fiscal year 2026. The budget invests more than $30 million in affordable housing, over $100 million for street repairs, and the creation of 2 new departments. One focuses on the city's response to homelessness, and the budget shows appreciation for civilian employees with a 2% raise.
I'm very pleased to see that our employees will be getting increases. I think it's a very tough environment out there, especially with the economy.
The city is projecting a $173 million budget shortfall over the next 2 years. In an effort to close the gap, the city's also increased fines of parking and traffic violations. Zach Briggs, KENS 5.
A shakeup is coming to how Texas students are tested. House Bill 8 was signed into law by the governor this week. It phases out the STAAR exam as we know it. Starting in 2027, students will be required to take 3 shorter tests throughout the year. Meredith Haas explains what this means for students and schools.
Some believe this new testing will be added stress for students and teachers, while others see it as a way to provide benchmarks for teachers to evaluate their students. In an August Public Education House Committee meeting, Alamo Heights ISD Assistant Superintendent Jimmy Walker asked for the committee to make considerations to the bill.
Legislative staff work incredibly hard, but they may not have the lived realities of counseling a student with testing anxiety or working a campus in a district through an accountability reset.
Asking for them to consider the potential impact on Alamo Heights ISD.
So being asked to shift away from what's working or being expected to additional through-year testing would be burdensome on my district.
Authored by Representative Brad Buckley, House Bill 8 officially replaces the STAAR exam with a, quote, instructionally supportive system of 3 shorter tests, one at the beginning, middle, and end of the year.
So it's also for teacher feedback to know, what do I need to improve on? It's not just about the students, it's about the whole classroom.
But Clay Robinson with the Texas State Teachers Association says standardized tests need to be done away with completely.
Well, it probably will not reduce the stress on teachers or, just as importantly, on students.
Robinson says legislators also failed to factor in enrichment programs to count toward their accountability. So they plan to take up House Bill 8 with the legislator in 2027 before it becomes a reality for students in San Antonio and across Texas.
We believe that the accountability system be based on things other than just standardized tests.
We reached out to local school districts and they did not get back to us today, but NISD did, and they said they will not comment on this prematurely. Meredith Haas, KENS 5.
Bulldog pride was on display at Somerset High School. 14 life skills students were honored in a special Letterman jacket ceremony. One by one, they walked the stage. The students are being celebrated for competing in 2 seasons of Special Olympics. The jackets were personalized to show off each student's personality. Somerset ISD plans to make the jacket ceremony a new tradition for future life skills student athletes. And that's the news in San Antonio.